Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ghost from Ghost Consultant, and in today's video, we'll be walking through the installation and configuration of the Boldon James Reporting Server. Before you begin the installation, here are the three essential components you will need for a successful installation. First, a server that will host the reporting server application. Second, a database server with administrative privileges to create the required database. Third, a valid Boldon James license for the reporting component. For this demo, I'll be using my administration server as the reporting server. As you can see, I've already added a valid license for the reporting. This is the SQL instance where the application will create and manage its database. Also, if you're using a different machine for the reporting server, that means separate from the admin server, ensure you have also configured the same prerequisites. This is very crucial to avoid any compatibility issues. Before proceeding with the installation, make sure that all the necessary .NET components are also installed. You can download the .NET components from the Microsoft website. I'll also put a link in the description for you guys. So I've already completed these activities and will proceed with the installation. Now let's get into the installation process. This is a 3-step procedure and following the steps precisely is important. In my experience, many environments run into these issues due to incorrect installation sequences being followed. So here's how we'll proceed. First, we'll install the reporting server application. Now this contains two parts. One is the server and the service. Now this can be done in any sequence. That means you can install any one of the component first and then the second one, and it should not be an issue. The second part is configuring the reporting database. And the third part is completing the application configuration. Let's just jump into the first step, which is installation of the application. So I like to start off with the service, but you can follow any path. Make sure that it's unblocked so that it doesn't take time on the Windows Defender. Now, I'm also going to do the same thing for the application. Like our previous video, we'll be focusing on the application. So we are going to double click on it, click on yes. On the setup wizard, we are going to click next. Read the license agreement, click on accept and click on next. Now for this, for our demo environment, I'm going to select the classifier AD service since I also have an Active Directory server. I don't require a channel wizard or a migration wizard, but if you require it, make sure to install it. And as also our best practice, we are not going to install it here. We are going to change it and point it to E. Click on OK. And we're going to click on next. Now, this is a service logon information. This is the account which is going to run the service. So make sure it does exist in the environment. So I'm going to use my admin. Also, just a best procedure. Make sure the service account also has the permission on the database. Now I'm going to put my domain and my account password, and I'm going to click on check user, and you'll see the specified user exists. I'm going to click on OK and click on next. Now this is where the SQL connection is to be configured. So you don't need to configure it now since the database doesn't exist. So we are going to just use the service Windows account, and we are not going to configure anything here. We are going to click on next and install, and we'll wait for the installation to complete. So once it is done, click on finish. Again, we'll go back to our installations, and we are going to go with the server installation. Double click on it, click on yes. Now once we are here, we are going to click on next, read the license agreement, accept. Again, as our best practice, we are going to move it to the drive E. Okay, just a misclick here. We are going to set to E, click on OK and next. So it's going to use port 443. I'm not using port 443 for any of the services. That's fine. Now you can have a SSL certificate for this application, or you could also create a self-signed certificate. I'm going to do it now. As you can see, it's going to use this certificate. Now again, this is an account credential. We can use the same one. So I'm going to put labs dot and my password, verify, and you'll see this user account exists and is valid. This means that it's going fine. We are going to click on next, click on install, and we'll wait for the installation to complete. All right, so we are back. It has completed the installation. We are going to click on finish. Now this is our installation completed, but it will still not be working. If you go to the IIS, you'll see that the site is added, and you'll also see that it's running. There would be an application pool which is stopped, and we're not going to work with that as of now. We're just going to click on stop. Now on to the next step, which was configuring the reporting database. Once you click on the start icon, you'll see that we have added two new folders. One is Boldon James and the other one is help systems. So these are the older names for the solution. Now make sure the first one that you configure is the Boldon James. You're going to go on to the prepare database, right click on it, more, run as administrator, and click on yes. Now this requires a database server. I'll go back to my database and I'll get my database and the instance. So it is db/pj. Now my name for the database server is db and the instance name is pj. I'm going to use the Windows authentication for it. We are going to click on test database access. So if you'll see, connection to the database server db is successful. However, the connection to the SQL is successful, but the database itself does not exist. To work with that, we are going to click on the create database button, and it's going to run some queries on it. Once you see successfully created tables in the database, that means it's there. Now if we refresh it, you'll see that our database is now added. Once you've done that, you can click on the close icon. The second step, again, go on to the Boldon James folder, right click on the configuration wizard, click on more, again run as administrator. Now in here, this is the same configure SQL connection that we skipped into our installation. As you can see, these are the same credentials. Now we are going to click on configure SQL connection. The server name is db/our instance, which is pj. We are going to use the same Windows authentication, and the database is classifier events db. We are going to click on test. As you can see, the connection is successful. We are going to click on OK, and make sure you click on save button here so that it gets written to the config file, and you can click on OK. Once you've configured that database, we are done with the Boldon James part. We're going to come here onto help system, right click on it, more, run as administrator, and yes. So once we see this page, we are going to put the server name, which is db, and our instance name, which is pj. We are going to click on ensure database exists. We are going to use the current user credentials because I'm logged in with the same account. I'm going to click on ensure database exists, and you will see in the output it will say if the connection is successful or not. We'll just wait for that to pop up. I just used the wrong slash. This one is the correct one. We're going to run it again. Use current user credentials, ensure database exists, and now it's here. Once we have done that, we're going to click on configure connection. Same server name, use this service account, and we're going to click on set connection. Once this is done, we're going to come here onto document database, ensure database exists and you have updated. You're going to click on close, configure connection, use this, set connection. You can see that it's configured. The last step is to click on start website. As you can see, app pull state started, website state started. Now if you go back to our IIS, you remember we saw that it was stopped. That's why you don't start it manually. You just let this application start it for you. Click on close. So once you've done that, I'll just quickly show you the console. We can go to https://localhost and hopefully it works. All right, as you can see, this is how the console looks like. Now, once you've fixed all your issues, we'll move on to step 3, which is the configuration of the application. Now, Boldon James does provide you with its own intelligence pack, which helps you in getting some dashboards and reports automatically created for you. And this is how we import it. Make sure you select it all, click on save. The next thing that we're going to do is click on connections, and we're going to add a new connection. Now we can call our connection as web reporting. You could name it anything. Now our server, and since we are using an instance, it would be this. Again, not making the same mistake. All right. Now the database name is classifier events DB. We'll click on save. Now onto the tables, make sure you have access to all the tables. Click on all and save. Go to the views, select all views and save. And finally onto the procedures, click on all and save. Now following these steps, you could also go on to having a successful implementation. And that is it for today, guys. Hope you had a great time, and I believe this would help a lot of guys out there who are facing issues while deploying a reporting component. If you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any issues or any problems that you face. Make sure to put them down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.